Good morning, everyone. Let's get some people up. Let's have a look. Is anyone up? Yeah. Morning, Ken. How are you, Ken? How are you?
I'm all good. It's bloody freezing here in Fisher Park.
Did you watch the game last night, England?
Yeah, I watched that debacle. I watched that. I couldn't miss it. You know what I mean?
It was a game of car crash football, I thought, really.
It just shows you one thing about England is that they got so much to learn about keeping possession, defending. It's like
it is relatively a new back four, isn't it? Really, it's not.
But
young.
The thing about it, but Southgate has made them for a week. And it's obvious that Southgate's probably told some of their managers that certain players are not going to play 2 games. So he'll have had like a week to drill these players. You know, get them to, like I said, play together, to practice it in training. You know what I mean?
As Ty buffed up.
You know what, man? It's like the 70s and 80s. They all look the same, don't they? I'll leave it at that, shall I?
You're both Nigerian, aren't you? So.
Well, we're from he's from the west, and my family's from the east. Both from Islington, though.
You're watching from Canberra, Australia. Thank you, Dan.
Oh, congratulations on the Ashes, mate.
Yeah, let's talk about the Ashes.
I know some people don't like cricket, but come on, don't be sports. Can't talk football all the time, can we?
Two poor batting sides, I thought. 2 individuals lit up the series. I think, actually, I'm thinking about it. Really, Australia should be 3-0 up, really, not 2-1. So really, there has been a bit of a...
Well, the thing about the Australians, as I said to you before, about 3 weeks ago, Australians know how to adapt to English conditions better than England can adapt to Australian conditions. And the reason why is that you've got a lot of Australian players who play the county cricket and they play in the T20, so they're used to that conditions. You know, like Bancroft, although he hasn't played in the last couple of tests, he was at Durham. You know, you've got players like...
Hi, Durham, sorry.
Yeah, Bancroft was at Durham. You know, like Siddle was at Nottinghamshire and he's at Essex. Patterson's been in Nottinghamshire, and that's 3 players at the top of there. They've got county experience, and over the years, Australians, you know, previously had people like Adam Voges and Chris Rogers. They've all had county experience, so they can acclimatise to English conditions. And plus, obviously, you've got the bowlers as well, like I mentioned, Siddle and Patterson. Cummings played well, and even now, say Australia got an injury, they can call up Peter Hampscombe, because Peter Hampscombe plays for my team, Middlesex. So you've got a wealth of experience from playing in English conditions. But how many English players play in the Sheffield Shield in Australia and play with that Cockenborough ball? I can't think of one. Obviously you've got players in a franchise like Luke Wright, but he's not going to get a test team. And Joffrey Archer plays for the Hobart Hurricanes, but that's about it.
I'm not as knowledgeable in cricket as you are, but do you think the one day and the 2020 has hit test teams with their technique, players?
Oh, definitely. But I think what's happening is because as we mentioned before, because of that debacle in Australia in 2015, where England got knocked out spectacularly. Obviously, they lost the last game when they got thrashed by Bangladesh. The emphasis on hiring Trevor Bayliss was because of his knowledge of the one-day game. And, you know, obviously playing, you know, being coach of New South Wales, coach in Sri Lanka as well in the 2020. So that's the experience that Trevor Bayliss has got. So that was kind of the emphasis. But I was reading something today about Trevor Bayliss, is that, Ashley Joel says he wants a more hands-on coach. And what Trevor Bayliss says is that the county games are producing enough test quality batsmen. Like, for instance, you know, like before the 2005 Ashes, we had a battery of fast bowlers coming through. Where are they? I know we've got Wood, we've got Archer. There's no, and it covers bare. We need to get bowlers who can bowl 90 miles an hour, and can able that way. If you can bowl 90 miles an hour, you can play on any surface in the world. Because what's happening is that you still on flat pitches. If you bench it back, you're still going to get uneven bounce and to pace. And where's the batsman? Where are the county batsmen? Everyone wants to play 2020 cricket. Everyone wants that big contract in in India with a IPO, and they want that big contract in a big bash in Australia. But that's the situation. But another thing as well, it's Joe Root's issue as a captain. He's not a captain for me. Joe Root's great batsman, should be batting at number 4, but because of the team he's batting at number 3. And my issue is, who's there to take over? Can't get a Bairstow. Bairstow wants to be liked by everyone, so you can't give it to him. Stokes, you would disagree with me on Stokes getting the captaincy because you think that Stokes, for me, you think Stokes is going to affect his ball because you remember.
No, that was Afsal who said that.
Afsal said it, but even so, you remember what happened with Boff, innit? When he got the captaincy in 1980 from Mike Beery, it kind of affected his cricket for a year and a half.
Well, true. I want to ask you one thing on that. What's bigger, the One-Day World Cup or the Ashes?
Test cricket.
Thank you very much.
It's simple. If you look at all the legends in cricket, they're all doing well in Test cricket. I don't see any one-day legends. I see Bradman, Botham, Richards, Alan Border, play Ricky Ponting, Sir Geoffrey, who's going to be Sir Geoffrey soon. All of them force their reputations on Test cricket. Cody's forcing his reputation on Test cricket. No, I don't hear anyone getting statues built after them and Graham's named after them because of what they've done in one-day cricket.
People are actually disputing Sir Geoffrey's knighthood. I can't believe that.
Well, the thing about Sir Geoffrey's knighthood is the situation is that he was. The fact of the matter is that the trouble is that you can't have it both ways. You can't say on the one hand, move on with your lives. You served your time. You've done the grime and served your time, but then the guy served his time. He got fined by a French court. He found guilty. Yeah. He denies it. The woman says that we weren't there, but a French court has found Sir Geoffrey guilty. But he's got to move on with his life. Sir Geoffrey's made contributions to Test cricket.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not disputing it, but obviously someone from the women's aid, they're going to feel different. They've got a right to their opinion. But I really do feel sorry for the women in women's aid that whenever something happens, right, instead of making these issues massive worldwide, something has to happen where these people, experts.
There's a lot of hypocrisy. We've got a member of the royal family involved.
But you know, like
there's a lot of hypocrisy.
Of course it is. But you know, these women from women's aid, they're promoting themselves rather than promoting the cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, so Kenny, what about England 5-3 winners?
Absolute shocking defending, but that is what you get with English football. The fact of the matter is that we saw kind of that.
I want to just cut in there, Kenny. Do you think actually though, I know 5-1, but sometimes it looks too easy. It looks too easy that you suddenly, how can I say, you lose your concentration.
No,
when you're winning 5-1, you think, this is too easy.
Yeah, what the first goal?
It's quite easy to do.
What the first goal? If you look at the first goal, when Keane makes a mistake, that is similar to what happened what happened in the League of Nations semi-final against Holland in June, where the same thing, they're trying to play out the back, they make a mistake, and then they go and lose again. That's what England do. You look at the third goal for the penalty, that's a car crash. Maguire has 2 chances to make the tackle and clear the ball, falls to ground, fouls the player, and then you look at Harry Kane's where the penalty's missed. That wasn't a penalty. But it's the trouble with England is that you can have all the players coming through. You can have your Fogans coming through. You can have your Hudson Boys. You can have Sancho's. All these players like Royce. But the fact of the matter is that it's the midfield centre. Who's going to give the team control? Modric for Croatia gives the team control. What he does, he kicks the ball and passes it. Gets it back and passes it. And when you do that, you control the game tempo of the match, you slow it down. Not this. When you go ahead and scale, 2 things happen. You lose the ball, you give the opposition impetus because you're always in the attack. And 2, most importantly, if the opposition keeps the ball, you're chasing it. Yeah. So the last 20 minutes, you're tired. You haven't got the energy to get back in the game. And I think that's something that Gareth Southgate needs. Believe it or not, he needs someone like...
It's quite a young England team.
Yeah, believe it or not, he needs someone like Jack Wilshere. And obviously not Jack Wilshere we know now, but a Jack Wilshere who can kick the ball, can run at players, but can change the tempo in the midfield. Because if you don't have someone who can do that, then you're always going to be always on the defensive, especially on the breakaway and against better teams. You're going to give them the ball and they're going to run you ragged. And and then last 30 minutes of your time, they're going to just pick you off. And I think England have got that problem. That's why, for me, they're never going to be favourites for the Euro 2020s.
Arsene Wenger came out the other day and said that he nearly signed Sancho.
Yeah, but you're subbing for
How many of these players has he nearly signed?
Yeah, but that happens in football a lot. A lot of players, you make references. The fact of the matter is that it's realistic, because at the end of the day, whenever a player's available, all clubs go to bid him more. So, you'll talk to one club and you talk to the other club, and then the player makes a decision. I mean, I heard something on the Roy Keane Roadshow where Matty Taylor was going to go to Sunderland. He had a discussion with Roy Keane, and then as he's going to his car, he sends Roy Keane a text to say, as Roy Keane's waving him off, I'm going to go to Bolton. Instead, and he's getting his car when he says in his text. Football's like that, You always do the mate inquiries. Remember, we made
say it to him personally.
Yeah, of course not. You're going to say that, Roy Keane? But you look at it. Eden Hazard. Everyone knows that we were after Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
He ends up at Chelsea. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where you do make an inquiry, you do have a look at him, but a player and his agent will be the ones making the choices. You know what I mean?
Well, what gets me is because Ivan Gazidis had a policy, didn't he, with buying players, of looking at the stat thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why was a bloke like Ivan Gazidis, whose knowledge on football is quite appalling, given that role?
That's poor Arsenal, isn't it? You've got to realise that, as we discussed before.
I mean, I heard that he went for Xhaka instead of
Conte
on his thing that he was doing. I don't know what they call it.
See, that's the thing about players, is that thankfully we're not going to have that situation, and that's the thing. But the thing with football is, it's the beautiful thing about football is that you never know.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we could have Virgil van Dijk, we could have Conte, but if they play in a bad team and an average side, or a team that don't work hard, they're not going to stand out. They're not going to have good performances. And the reason why Conte does well at Chelsea, ultimately, is because the players, when they have got the buy-in on system, and they work hard. At Liverpool, the reason why Van Dijk is looking $1 million at Liverpool is because he's got good players around him. If you have good players, and when I say good players, I'm not talking about players who've got good technical ability, who can pass it and run at the same time. I expect that as a given for a footballer, but it's the work rate. People people have a go at me and they say, "Oh, Ken, you're boring, you're always whinging, you like 0-0s, you like pragmatic football." So, yes, the best players work hard. That's why they have long careers. You're not going to have a long career if you don't work hard. Everyone's got talent. You can go to Finsbury Park or go to like Clitsole Park, and you can go to Market Road, get on the Piccadilly line around on here. You're always going to see people who do about 20 kick-ups, or dribble around the cones. But they don't make it as footballers, because why? They don't want it.
Yeah, they don't want it. It's mentality.
And they don't work hard enough. They think their talent and football ability is enough. That is only 10%. The other 90% is work rate. And when you get up a level, you work. That's how you move levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of players.
If you don't practice your footballing, then you lose your touch. You know what I mean?
A lot of players have gone. You think, they're going to be great, and then suddenly the next.
Injuries.
I mean, that Josh McCracken, what do you call it, for Chelsea.
Injuries, not working. Thinks he's made it. That's simple.
I remember going back as far as lots of.
What about Jack Wilshere?
Yeah, but he's injured.
Yeah, but you say he's injured.
Nothing to do with mentality.
I never said it's mentality, but I personally think, and this is very controversial. I'm sorry for you. I think that Jack Wilshere has been told by a surgeon that his time at football is limited, because the reason is that, look, we looked at your ankle, it's not going to work out. I think maybe a year or two you'll be finished. And if you look at his autobiography about 2 or 3 years' time, he'd probably say that. Look at all the players who were great. Like Norman Whiteside, 20 years old, was told after he won the FA Cup of Man United against Everton that he wouldn't have a long career. Michael Van Basten at Groningen, when he was only 21.
He won that midfield against Barcelona, didn't he?
Yeah,
he won it against
but injuries as well. The fact of the matter is, if you get persistent injuries in football, you're not going to be able to play at the high level. that you want to play in. And what will happen is that your career is limited. And that's why you,
right.
man. And that's why you won't have a long career. And that's the thing. And you've got to realise with a lot of young players. All right, Fernand. All right, son. Yeah, all good, yeah.
Are you happier now?
Well, we're getting a live stream, mate.
What, here?
Yeah.
Doing one.
Do it again.
You
Okay,
all
all right. I won't put myself on it because
all right. I know you got something right, don't you, son?
Yeah.
Fernand's from the man around the corner, both from Andover Estate and Fisher Park. Anyway, back to saying about all these players, like Jack. The fact of the matter is that it's injuries. That's why he didn't get a contract, because long term he could be finished. You look at it at West Ham. He hasn't completed the season at West Ham. He's played the first game of the season. He's injured again.
Yeah,
that's his future.
One great talent.
You say great talent.
I'll never forget that goal against was it Norwich?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, great.
And the way he dominated that Barcelona game
he
at
did,
the Emirates.
and that's when he was fit. But unfortunately, his competitive style, going to tackle, throw, is going to get injuries, and that's what happened with Jack. Same with Norman Whiteside, 21. Michael Van Basten basically kicked himself out of the game. Made a terrible tackle in '86 against Groningen, where he's gone for a 20-80 ball. He had no right to win. He's trying to take out the defender. The defender's landing his ankle, smashed his ankle to bits, and at the time he was told he wouldn't play again, but he did play. But he missed his season before '88, and then in '93, you remember there was a time when he was in and out of the Michael Van Basten. Another great player. Remember Van Basten? Van Basten.
When he brilliant in the 88.
But before that, he had an injury when he was 21, and by the time he was 28, he was finished because of that injury. And that's what happens. You get a kick. Ledley King. Ledley King, another great defender. But look what happened. Him and Rory Delac when he was 20, little injury. 10 years ago, 10 years later, he's out of football.
He would have had over 100 caps.
Easy. But mind you, he's in an era where there was Sol Campbell, John Terry.
Having said that, he's up there with them because
he's better than them. He's better than them.
But he just wasn't fit.
In my opinion, he was better player than them. Essentially, he was like our Paul McGrath. You know what I mean? Injury.
Here's another one, Paul McGrath.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Another one. Even Brian Robson had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, definitely. But like in today's era, Brian Robson would be fine. Because what was happening is sports science.
By the way, have you seen that Roy Keane? Have you watched
all of it. I watched all 2 hours. It's absolutely brilliant.
Have they got one big long video of it?
Yeah, go on YouTube. There's one for 2 hours 5 minutes, and he's just brilliant. He tells the truth. Everything Roy Keane says is true. Obviously, none of it is tongue in cheek. He actually means it. He's actually serious.
It's quite funny.
I don't think Roy realises how funny he is. That's the problem with Roy. He's hilarious. Obviously, if you're someone like Jonathan Waters won't think like that. But the fact of the matter is, and I think what he said about the crying and the family thing's a bit strong. But you know what you're getting with Roy. Roy packed stadiums. You know what I mean? Roy would be probably one of the best after dinner speakers of all time. Plus, he'd be a great pundit.
The thing on Jonathan Waters, that was funny.
Yeah, but it was and then the stuff about when he says, instead of saying what's up, he said what's up and all that about someone punched me. That's fantastic. And Gary Neville was a great supporting cast member as well.
Yeah.
But I think what it is that Roy Keane, yesterday's pundit, brilliant, says it is, tells the truth. But we
not enough about it, is there?
Well, not at all. I think the trouble with Roy Keane, he won't do well with Square. Because can you imagine Roy Keane with Alex Scott? And then she says something. Can you imagine Roy Keane's face? It's not going to work in it. Alex Scott, Roy Keane, and Graham Souness. That's the recipe of disaster. Mind you,
I'm a big fan of Sue. I think he talks a lot.
Souness is brilliant. Souness and Keane are excellent. Jamie Carragher has got a great depth of knowledge, but his personal opinions take over a lot when he talks about a player. And I think the same with Jamie Redknapp. But with those two, Souness and Keane,
the worst pundit for me is that ex-Tottenham and Newcastle players.
Ex-Tottenham and Newcastle, Chris Waddle?
No. The worst pundit. Genius.
Well, Genius is another thing as well. He's a very articulate. He does his best. And but he is very forthright with his opinions. And he wasn't afraid to criticise Hugo Lloris after that mistake at Anfield. So you've got to give him a chance. Remember, he's only 36. He's going to evolve. Yeah, Kevin as well. You've got to realise, right, is that what works in England. For instance, if you go on if I suggest you go on RTE, radio, television era, and Irish viewers as well, RTE. Johnny Giles, Eamon Dunphy, Liam Brady, they're absolutely brilliant. But they wouldn't work in England. Because some of the things they say are PC. Johnny Giles called one time on Irish TV called Robin Van Persie a prat. He couldn't do that on Sky or BT Sport or ITV. But on Irish TV he can do that. And that's the thing. Certain things, like Graham Smith was working for RTE in the World Cup, and he said in the break...
big boy, I'm sorry to interrupt, because I know you've got to go. Big question for you. There's talk about Arsene Wenger returning in some capacity at the football club. How do you feel about
that? You think about that, right? Is that it'd probably be an honorary role. I don't think they're going to allow him to have any operational input. I mean, they'll be a fool to anyway after what happened with him. But Arsene Wenger loves Arsenal. Still lives in Totteridge, and he's going to get a statue, get a stand named after him. And I think the club think that maybe they own something, maybe an ambassadorial role, which I won't begrudge him doing it. Manchester have it with Ian Rush, Kenny Davies.
Nice little chat with him, can't you?
Who Arsene Wenger? Well, the thing about it is that I think that because of my views on Arsene Wenger, I don't deserve to be in his company. I think people who respected Wenger and supported him, they're the ones who should be talking to Wenger. I personally think you can't go on marches, have banners, go on marches to have Wenger out, and be part of them, be part of the organisational thing, support the organisation, these things like I will, and then go, oh, sorry Arsene, I didn't really mean it. Yeah. I just want the best for Arsenal. It doesn't wash with me.
Right, I'm going to do a Kenny Yankee. This is every week. Yeah. 4 games prediction. Kenny's Yankee. Let's have a bet. You can have a bet on the Yankee, whatever. Let's start. Leicester, Man United. Man United, Leicester. Is it at
Old Trafford?
Old Trafford.
2-0 Man United.
2-0?
Absolutely.
You don't think Leicester will give them problems?
They'll give them problems, but I think Man United have got better players, and I think they'll win.
Right, the next game I'm going to go into is Tottenham versus Crystal Palace.
3-1 Tottenham. Tottenham showed a bit of form in the first half of the Emirates. Kane's back to full. Crystal Palace will give them a game, but I think Spurs will be too strong for it.
And they want to bounce back, especially after. Then you've got what's the other game? Then Wolves against Chelsea. This is an interesting one.
I think Chelsea. The thing with Chelsea, they'll concede goals. I'm going for a 2-2 because I think Chelsea will definitely score, but I think that because of their inexperience of their players, they'll let Wolves back in the game. So I think 2-2.
Yeah, a very young side, but Wolves at home, and when they're playing big sides,
that's last season. What about this season? You'll find with Wolves this season that teams aren't going to be able to work them out. They're going to show more respect.
Well, they gave Man United
Man United should have won the game. Yeah. Man United, neither of them.
Yeah.
They just didn't.
And the one I don't know whether you'll be there, but
hope so.
On Sunday, Watford against Arsenal.
If Javi Garcia was the manager, 3-0 Arsenal. But with like I said, Kiko Flores in charge, I think if we match them, because they've still got confidence problems, Watford. You've got to realise, mate.
Good time to play them.
Watford don't recover from the FA Cup final hammering they got from Man City. Plus they lost a few games last season. You can't recover in that. It doesn't matter whether you've got Chico Flores or Garcia's manager. I think if we can match them, I think we can win that 3-1. No problem with that.
Good. So you're going Man United, Wolves draw,
Tottenham win,
Arsenal win. That's Kenny's Yankee.
Cool. I've got to do the frack boff. See you guys.
Take care.
And by the way, I am not Ty's brother. Ty's 2 years older than me, and reason why Ty has bulked up, he ain't bulked up. I'm the bulk. I've been bulked since the year dot. It's called working out, going to muscles, going for jogs, and keeping fit, lads. See you later.
And a good bodyguard to have.
Oh, the best one, isn't it? Ask Heavy D. Bloody hell.
By the way, Heavy D, what's that with AFTV? No, I'll talk to him.
We'll talk about that in private. See you later.
All right then, mate. Take care. Right. There you go, Kenny. Nice, Kenny. I'll answer a few. Kenny. Nice, Kenny. I'll answer a few questions before I go. Michael says Arsenal, the many banker at Arsenal. More questions. Let's have a few more before I go. Would I start holding on Sunday? No, not quite ready yet. Who replaces Xhaka? Well, I'm gonna go for a midfield of Willock, Ceballos, and Guendouzi on Sunday. It's time to go for Xhaka for me. Yeah, I think it's criminal what he done against the other day against Spurs, especially in a big game like that. If you really want it, you don't go and do things like that. Sorry. I don't know about you, Lawrence, but I'm still angry about it now. No, I have to put these on now. I have to put them on. I know they make me look silly, but my eyes. Well, I think of England's performance going forward, very good, but defensively, still a lot of work to be done. That's it. I think. Do you think Emery needs? That's it. I think. Do you think Emery needs to be replaced? I'm not going to answer that. United fan, you must. I don't know. We never do well at Old Trafford, even when United are not playing well. So I don't know. It's a hard one to say. Top goal scorer this season. I've got a feeling that Mane's going to. Sadio Mane. Yes, I do, Lawrence. I do think that international break should be scrapped, mate. So scrap the whole lot, mate. To be honest with you, waste of time. No Salah running down the wing. No, Mo Salah. Oh, this is George. Oh, this is George. Who do you see us finishing? Where do I see us finishing this season? I think we should get top 4. I'm even confident we can get top 3. But then that's down to the coach. Right, I'm going to call it a day. Hope you're all well. Hope you have a great day. Don't forget Kenny's Yankee 4 if you want to have a bet. He's going for Wolves to draw with Chelsea, Man United to beat Leicester, Spurs to beat Palace, and Arsenal to beat Watford. That's Ken's Yankee. Well, I do that every week. And see how you get on with it. See how if you agree with Kenny, have a little punt. Take care.